My name's Ethan, and today we're going to walk through Independent Project 2-4, or the Sierra or Central Sierra Insurance Project, and I'm going to give you a guided walkthrough on how to complete this assignment. So, without further ado, let's begin. You're going to want to open the Central Sierra 2 file, and if it's in protected view and you need to click Enable Editing, make sure you click Enable Editing. And lastly, the file name should automatically change to include your name, but if it hasn't, make sure you take a minute here just to change the file name so it includes your name. Perfect, let's move on. What we want to do, end goal, is fill in this cell here with our bonus rate and our commissions with bonus. So what we're going to want to first do is we're going to go to tables, and we're going to create two variables for us here using commission level and bonus rate. So we're going to select cells A1 to B6, so this entire little table here. And we're going to go to formulas, and the defined names grouping here, we're going to click on create from selection. We're going to click on top row, or make sure it's selected, and click OK. So now commission level and bonus rate are two variables we can use in our Excel formulas. We are then going to go back to commissions. We're going to click on cell F5, and we're going to start an X lookup function. So we're going to go to lookup and reference, and we're going to scroll all the way down until we find X lookup. Hit that, and this dialog box should pop up. We have a few things we want to enter into this box here. So the first thing is, let's drag this over so we have a better room here. So our lookup value is going to be E5. So if I just click E5, you can see it automatically fills in the box there, or into the range here. We're going to click tab to move on to the next. Our lookup array is going to be the commission level range we created just earlier here. So we're going to go to using formula at the top here. This is where the commission level and bonus rate variables have been saved. We're going to click on commission level, and you can see Excel will add that into our lookup array. Hit tab, and we're going to do the same thing, or almost the same thing, with the return array. We're going to go to using formula, bonus rate, enter that in. We're then going to, if not found, we're going to leave that blank. And match mode, we're going to type in -1. And this should provide this is correct. So what we're doing is we're telling Excel, okay, we want you to look at the number in E5, so in this case 15,000. We want you to find 15,000 in commission level, and we want you to return to us whatever the associated bonus rate is with 15,000. And match mode -1 just basically means it's going to find the next smallest match. So if you entered all these values incorrectly, you should get 0.025 as your formula result here. If not, take a minute to just double check you filled it in all these cells right and you calculated the two variables here correctly. And if everything's correct, we're going to click OK. And you can see Excel is going to enter in our bonus rate of 0.025. And so then what we want to do is we want to change this so that it's a percent, right? Because it is a percent bonus. We're going to go home. We're going to click on the percent sign here. And it's going to give us a percent here, but we want 2 decimal places. So we're going to click on the 2 increase decimal place button twice. So now we get a bonus rate of 2.5%. we're then going to copy the formula in cells F5 to cells F14. So we're going to click and drag on the little box in the bottom right, and we're going to drag it all to the bottom, and Excel will continue the formula down for the entire row. We're going to then set order of operations to step 6. We're going to set order of operations to calculate the commission and bonus totals. So what we're first going to do is we're going to select cell G5. And so the total commission with bonus is going to be the amount of commissions plus the commissions times the bonus rate. So we're going to start a formula here. And so what this is we're going to create a formula that adds the commissions plus the commissions times the bonus rate. So that's going to be the commissions plus the commissions times the bonus rate. And there's no need for parentheses here, right? Because we want, this is the, bed mass, right? Awesome. Moving on to step 7, we want to create a copy a sum if function to calculate total earnings by branch office. What that means is we've got 3 branch offices here. We want to figure out the total commission we're spending on Cameron Park, Granite Bay, and Folsom. So to do this, we're going to select cell E18. We're going to create a sum if function. So we're going to do equals sum if, hit tab, and the Excel will start the formula for us. We are going to select the range D5 to D14. We are going to hit F4, which you can see adds dollar signs before each of the values, which makes each of these a absolute value, right? So if we drag the formula down, this range won't move. We're then going to hit comma in our formula. And the criteria is going to be the cell in C18. So the actual name of the park here. And so lastly, the sum range is, the way the sum if formula works in layman's terms is it says, okay, what I want you to do is look at this range here. If there's any that say Cameron Park, we want to add these values. We want you to take the value associated with Cameron Park here and add the total. Again, we want to make sure we hit F4 so that these are absolute values. So if we drag the formula down later, that the references don't get messed with. So we're going to hit our ending bracket here. We're going to click enter. And we can see that the Cameron Park value, it's gone through Excel's Now that we've got our value for Cameron Park, what we want to do is we want to right click and hold, right click, not left click, but right click and hold our number, our formula from in Cameron Park down to Granite Bay here. And this pop-up will show up and we're going to click on fill without formatting. So now it's not going to bring the borders down, but it's just going to bring the formula down and calculate the totals for Folsom and Granite Bay as well. Lastly, we want to kind of make this look a little bit prettier, so we're going to select cells E18 to E21, and we're going to change them to currency by going up to the top here, clicking the down arrow under the numbers tab, and clicking currency. We're then going to total the earnings, so the total commissions and bonuses by branch. So what we want to do is in total, this is going to be, we're just going to use a simple sum function. And we're going to select all three of our branches here, click enter, and we get the total amount. Then we want to fill in these bottom, or these last three, and so we want to figure out the average first, so we're going to do equals average. And so we want to be specific. We don't want the average of the three branches here. We want the average of all the commissions here. So we are going to, or the each of the salesperson's commission with bonus. So we're going to type in our equals average formula in E22, and we're going to select all the values in column G, close bracket, hit enter. It's going to give us the average commission we paid to each of our each of our salespeople. Next, we're going to add the mode, so we're going to equals mode. And we're going to do the same thing. Select each of all the values in column G, hit enter. It's going to give us a mode. And lastly, we need to find the median. So we're going to do equals median. And we're going to select each of the values. Right. Each of the values in column G. Hit enter. And so we see we get the average, which is $6 grand-ish or $7 grand-ish. We get the mode, which is the most commonly occurring number. Largest commonly occurring number, which is the 12,000 here. And then we get the median, which is if we lined all the numbers up, what is the number smack in the middle of that lineup, which is 4669. Awesome. So then what we want to do is take a minute here to just we want to just maybe I would select these three cells and I would go to the arrow up here, hit currency, just so that all the Awesome. So moving on to step 11, we're going to create and copy an if function in the by policy tab to determine if the type of policy is a personal or business.
So we're going to go to the By Policy tab if you haven't already and go to cell F7. And we're going to start an if function. So in the formulas, we're going to go logical. We're going to go if. So what we want to do is we want to tell Excel, we want you to see if E7 is going to equal business policy. And if it does equal business policy, then we are going to have it say no. But if it does say, if it doesn't say business policy, we want it to say yes. And so your formula should look something like this. And we're going to say OK. And so we're going to get this one formula in F7. What we then want to do is we want to copy this formula down the entire table here. And what this formula is doing is it's looking at type of policy. If the type of policy is a business policy, then it's not a personal line. If it is business policy, it's not personal, so it's going to print a no. But if it's anything but business policy, then it's personal, so it's going to print a yes. Last thing we want to do here is we want to select all the cells again from F7 to F27. We're going to go home, and we're going to click on the increase indent button twice. We're then going to hit Control Home, brings us to the top right of the spreadsheet, or top left, excuse me. Moving on to step 12, we want to display names and locations using concat. So we basically want to, in this cell, include a string of text that has their first name, their last name, and the location of each salesperson. So we're going to start a concat function. So in D2, we're going to go to formulas, text, concat. And so what this is doing is we're basically going to tell Excel which sets of text we want to put together and how we want it to be put together. So in text 1, what we want to do is go to commissions, and we want to click on cell C5. So it's going to have their first name, so Bob. Text 2 is going to be a space. Text 3 is going to be the last name, so Lingle. We're going to tab. Text 4 is going to be a comma and a space. Hit tab. And lastly, text 5 is going to be, if we go to commissions, it's going to be the branch. So D5, so Cameron Park. We're going to click OK. And so what Excel has done is it's taking the first, the last, and the location from the commissions tab and putting it into one sentence here, one line of text. We then, as per every other table we've dealt with, we want to drag this down so that it does it for every single salesperson on our list. So once you've pasted the range names in D13, we're going to hit Control Home to bring us to the very left. And we want to group all the sheets, so we're going to hold Control and select all 3 sheets, make sure they're all lit up. And then we're going to center the pages horizontally, which means we go to the Page Layout tab at the top here, go to Margins, Custom Margins. Under Center on Page, we want to click horizontally. You can see in a little preview, it's moved the contents of the sheet, or the example contents of the sheet, to the middle. We're going to click OK. Now, while these sheets are all grouped, what we want to do is we want to add a footer with the file name in the right section. So we're going to go to Insert, go over to text, header and footer, and then we're going to scroll to the bottom here. We're going to add a footer, and in the right selection, we're going to add the file name. So if we go to header and footer, click on file name, again, the formula pops up, but if we click anywhere else, it's going to automatically fill with the file name. We're going to then ungroup the sheets by just clicking anywhere on the sheets here, and you are complete. So before I would submit, I'd make sure that it looks similar to figure 2-109, Excel 2-4, the figure right on the next page. And if you are satisfied, submit it for grading. So hope that helps.